What's up? Jake Kaiser here. Wanted to let you know that I have a new track titled Follow You, which is out now. This is a vocal track with a bunch of chill atmospheric elements, kind of a more deep house style. I'm really excited for this one, and today I'm going to take you into the project, let you know how I made these sounds, how I made this track, and we'll look over some of the key elements in the Ableton project. Hey, here we are in the project for Follow You. And I'm going to just do kind of a quick look through this project, show you guys what it's all about, and I'm going to let you guys ask if you have any other specific questions that I can go into more detail on. But for now, let's kind of keep it high level and start with kind of the main elements of the track that kind of make it special. So when we really start off this track, it all really stems from these kind of chords that we have going here and that kind of dreamy atmosphere that creates. And then the vocals kind of start coming in on that. So let's look at those chords. So those chords, you can kind of see them all here. There's a few different layers. I have a little bit of strings underneath, a couple diva pads here that are providing that kind of drony atmospheric element. And then I also have one more kind of atmospheric element that just really makes this really airy and has a lot of movement in there as well. And then on top of that, somewhere in here, there's some audio that's been kind of chopped up. And that's the kind of reversed, actually, elements of the lead that I kind of brought in here from later on, that there's a lot of processing in, and that kind of swells up and kind of goes into that vocal. Kind of hear it here. And provides like a nice subtle transition into that. Throughout the track, there's a good amount of atmospheric elements. I have some recordings from Yellowstone here, which is like very subtle in the background with like some geysers and birds, just to really add to that sense of space. And there's also like some drums and kind of a pad, some audio clip that's just kind of sitting here and chilling in the background of the mix and providing a lot of width. And one of the ways I like to get that width is really go through some shimmer or Valhalla shimmer, which is an amazing reverb that can kind of stack on some other harmonics and just creates that nice lush shimmery vibe. And from there, we have the vocals, which we'll look at a little later, but let's look into kind of the main bass here. And I will say I have everything frozen because this project got very, very heavy. So I just spent the last like 40 minutes freezing things. So hopefully everything is sounding okay and we don't get any pop in. So the kind of main bass is just this kind of sustained saw patch from Diva, and that has a little bit of saturation on it, and then what's going to join that is a couple other basses. This one's just providing a little bit of kind of staccato on the down notes, just to provide a little bit of punch there. Pretty subtle. And then here is our sub, which is just kind of a serum food's ready. But serum patch that I believe it's mostly a sine wave, probably with a saw over it. Since it's all frozen, I can't look into it, but that's a lot of my kind of sub patches here. And again, a little bit of saturation on this one. This one's actually pretty gritty. There's some harmonics there. And obviously a lot of pumping going through a few different side chains here. I think that one is also going through LFO tool just to fully duck it out of the way of the kick. And then I also have those kind of sweepy basses, which again is just a saw patch in Diva, and really counting on that filter sweep to just provide some movement to the bass and kind of keeps things moving. And you can kind of see these are different notes every time, just to kind of keep that movement alive and provide some kind of flowy, sweepy elements. And then you can see that these bass, it really opens up later on. We'll go to the main part. And that's when that main diva patch is really opening up. You can see there's a lot of automation going on too for all of these patches, just to provide some movement and different character. And I like to get a lot of that movement by kind of using my MIDI controller and just getting the Diva or Serum or whatever soft synth I'm using and getting all the parameters on that controller and just kind of recording different elements just to give a little bit more analog, I guess, live feel to the sound. This one actually, this track was made before I had my kind of analog synths, so there is no analog stuff on this. This is all in the box. But I've been doing that a little bit more with some more analog equipment, just to kind of get more tactile feeling and start playing around with the knobs. I love that. Let's see what else we got going on here. I have not opened this project in a while, so we can go through it together. Okay, I call this one the bass drone, and this is just another Diva patch that's just providing some atmosphere. This track really is airy and atmospheric, and that's just kind of a, again, probably pretty simple saw patch with some movement in there that's just kind of providing, it's kind of like lows and mids, just providing some movement in there. And then in here, we have just a modified Diva preset, which is the Avalon piano. And this is providing a lot of that kind of main, like, leady character here. And this is kind of, this isn't like the main lead, but it's really kind of a counter melody. And again, you can kind of see that dreamy nature. All the sounds in this track really lean that way. Got some lab strings in there. That's a free plugin. Or is this the piano, actually? Oh, that's the main piano, which is Labs is a free piano. They have like paid stuff as well, but I'm using just their free piano here, and it's kind of the main melodic idea here and really sets the tone. So you can see what, great free plugin. Definitely recommend it for those kind of soft, subtle piano tones. And then when you start having the vocals come on top of this,
wherever you are, it's where I belong.
and that really was the main melodic ideas right there, and you can kind of see the chords in here. All right, what else do we got? I think we got our kind of main lead elements, so let's go over those. So this is kind of that same melody as the piano is playing, but with a bunch of delay and some crystallizer on there from Sound Toys, which is providing that kind of granular feeling and just giving it a lot of movement again. And this kind of comes in as kind of a lead just because it shines a little bit brighter than the piano and other stuff. And at the same time, we also have this little ARP coming in here as well. And this ARP's kind of in the background, but just provides a little bit, again, more movement, kind of keeps things going. And it's kind of subtle there. And then we also have that same lead that we're looking at, and it actually starts playing that arpeggio in the breakdown and later on in the chorus, which kind of becomes that lead element. And we still have that crystallizer and a lot of delay, just giving this really dreamy building. It slowly builds, and the crystallizer mix is actually one of the main things doing this. So I'm bringing up that crystallizer mix to get a lot more of those kind of echoes in there. And I like to use this a lot in my breakdowns to provide a lot of space and kind of keeps everything building. And then sometimes I'll cut that out too, and I'll kind of let a little bit of it flow into the drop, which I believe this song is. You can kind of hear that flows into that, and again provides that transition for the vocals themselves. What else do we got? I don't know what this one is. Oh yeah, this is this kind of fun serum patch that's providing a ton of movement throughout. So this thing you can see has these big filter sweeps, and that just really allows these like kind of pops of sound to come, and keeps things really interesting and dynamic. Oh, I love that. I'm gonna use that soon. Okay, so that's our bass. And then all of these are routed to a synth bus, which we can see here. Let's listen to all these kind of synths together. And you can kind of see that all these synths together provide a really nice vocal bed. So that's why there's a lot of space for that vocal to come in. And that was kind of the intention of this track, was I didn't want to add too many lead elements, to let the vocals have their spot in the mix, because that's something that's really easy to do. If the song sounds great without vocals, when you add vocals, oftentimes you're going to have like a lead element clashing. So something to be aware of, something that I'm still working on. Kind of like droney thing that comes here in the second part, provides like a little, again, atmospheric drive. And this is kind of a plucky square wave in serum. And this is just providing that kind of like, it's almost like a lead element where it keeps building and growing, and it just is on that offbeat, like on that snare hit. And provides like a melodic, a very simple, like, I guess not melody, but a tonal element that just provides a lot of like build and kind of allows this whole thing to keep building. And here we go, kind of our main lead group. You can see earlier we looked at that reverse section coming in. And when we go into here, this main lead is a serum patch, and again with a lot of movement and a lot of vibrato on it. And you can kind of see here, this is a kind of a spot where the vocals aren't playing, just to allow that to come through. And when the vocals are playing, it's a little bit more subtle. And then here, I basically took this lead and put it through all sorts of stuff. A bunch of kind of delay chains, probably some more of a holly shimmer, and just providing this, well actually this was probably the arpeggio, but just something that can kind of bounce here with a really aggressive side chain, and it just kind of bouncing along and providing another kind of melodic element in here. To kind of see how these sound. And you can see how that this kind of audio here that's rendered down just kind of is in between where the lead notes hit, and it just provides, again, a lot of movement. This track is kind of all about that movement and ambience and atmospheric ideas. And if we go down to the vocals, these are a complete mess, so I apologize for that. There's a lot of different layers here. I think like not only is there kind of multiple takes of these vocals, but have kind of the different harmonies. I like to put a few of the vocals in kind of these different channels down here, which will use effects like little altar boy to like pitch it up, pitch it down. These will be panned a lot just to provide that real big width and depth to the vocal. Here's that, and that sounds super weird by itself, but and then when we start adding all these kind of backing vocals, you can see it provides this nice bed for the main vocal to sit on, and provides a lot of width here. You can see I have actually a lot of these just delayed a little bit from the main vocal by 20 milliseconds, kind of providing that Haas effect with the main vocal. So there's just that little space in between the main vocal and some of these other elements, which just provides a lot of width and a lot of stereo. The main vocals are somewhere. Oh, it's this one. And processing wise, just there's some Melodyne on here. It's not used a lot, but just a little tuning. Some EQ. This Butch Vig, I don't know when I got this, but I think I got it when I was making more kind of singer-songwriter, like acoustic stuff, and just kind of a one-stop shop for vocal processing. And I happened to use it on this track, and To be honest, I kind of was going to go back and probably add a de-esser separately, some saturation separately, and all of that. But I like the way it sounded, so I just kind of kept it. Then I have some radiator, providing a little heat to it. Some subtle like saturation with black box, tiny bit of OTT, a little soothe. Another kind of one-stop shop CLA vocals, which again is something I sometimes use, but usually not on the lead vocal, usually on kind of the backing vocals, but somehow kept it on here. It was sounding good, so that's good enough for me. And then a little bit of a Valhalla kind of vintage verb on the room mode. I do not have Valhalla room, so I use vintage verb for my room because I'm cheap.
I'll follow you through the darkness.
All right, give me one sec. But you can kind of see what that's sounding like. There's a lot of space on there. I think I wanted this vocal to be very airy. And I've got to go here and reset this guy. And are we going to get audio out again? I'm going to have to re-add this plugin. So the only way I can stream this is by using this plugin. If anyone knows a better way for me to get my audio into OBS, please let me know. Because I use this little recorder plugin that only works for 20 minutes at a time. I guess I should just buy it, but I haven't done this that much. Let's see. Let's get this all back. There we go. So we got 20 more minutes. That means I'm talking too long anyway, so let's get through it. You can see the vocals. One other thing I'd like to point out is there's a ton of return channels here with all sorts of different things. And the vocals are going through a lot of these. The leads are going through other ones. There's a super airy atmospheric one. I utilize a lot of return tracks to provide just some more color to the track. So there we have kind of the main part of the track. You got your lead elements, your vocals, all the atmospheric bits. In here, just have a bunch of kind of sweeps and kind of like sounds that I've recorded, some like vocally things, some kind of cello, kind of like providing a string for like some tension. I guess I should say violin. Yeah, just some kind of ear candy and effects. And then I want to just quickly look at the drums. I think nothing super crazy here, but a lot of, I guess, rhythmic things going on. A lot of groove. Nothing too major to talk about, I guess. But I'll go over a few things. I think the thing that's kind of providing a lot of this groove are a lot of these audio loops down here. I got these kind of hats that are kind of moving around. I got these handheld shaker samples, which you can see are a little bit of groove to it. It's a little bit off of the grid, kind of nice and wide. And then we kind of bring in some more of those kind of elements in here. Like we got this little African rain shaker thing, some kind of random loop. This one's kind of has a lot of pan going back and forth with Pan Man there. That's the main hat. And then we got a few even more perks here. And then we have another kind of hat loops that come in near the end that just provide the main, more energy. And that kind of keeps the track going. And then you'll see some of these perk loops, which are just a bunch of like congas and stuff with some delay on there, providing a lot of movement and just kind of adds to that groove. And then the main one here is this bongo loop I found on some free sample pack I downloaded ages ago, which is a lot of side chains, so it's kind of bouncing around. And again, just some delay. And then the same thing kind of here with these bongo hits. And with that, you kind of create a very dreamy, like groovy, kind of organic feeling drums. And you can see there's just a lot of groove here. Really small, snappy clap. Really letting the vocals and all those like atmospheric elements and kind of pads take over. And these just provide that little bit of groove that keeps you moving. And with that, I think that's all the main elements of this track. If you have any questions on any of the sounds, definitely let me know. Would love to talk more about some of the things, but I figure this has been kind of even longer than I intended as a brief walkthrough. So I will leave you with a little bit of the track here. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something. And let me know if you have any questions. Happy to help. All right, and with that, let's follow you. I hope now that it's out, people are enjoying it. And this was a really cool one to make just because it was a little bit more on the chill side. I love working with vocals, so incorporating this was really fun. And this track, I just love the beautiful melodic ideas here. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the video. I haven't made a lot of YouTube content here, but would love to make more. So liking and subscribing provides that feedback that it's worth my time and effort. So if you like this kind of thing, let me know, and have a good one.